Hello everybody and welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we are going to be looking at a replay in the Ho-Ri prototype. So this vehicle used to be at one point 6.0 if I remember correctly, and it is now 6.7, which I guess kind of makes sense considering it is essentially a Japanese Ferdinand. The armor I don't think is quite as good, but the mobility and pretty good gun depression does make up for that. But we are on one of probably the worst maps in this game. Out of all of the maps in this entire game, not many of them are very good, but this one is one of the worst, I would have to say. Especially at this BR. I don't even remember the name of this. It's like Errol C or something, I don't know. Correct me in the comments. Maybe it's on the screen somewhere that I'm not seeing. Either way, I don't like this map. The C point is way too open, and you just end up getting sniped from some hull down guy in the back. Just, yeah, you know, you can't even see him until you're dead. And the other side of the map is just kind of, awkward, I guess. I don't know. It's definitely better on the left side, but I was presuming with my Ho-Ri I would head over here and do some sniping. But, as you will see, we're not going to run into a whole heck of a lot. So I guess I'll just take some time to talk about the Ho-Ri itself a little bit, you know, a little bit of the history, at least from what I remember. So the Ho-Ri was essentially supposed to be a casemate tank destroyer on top of the Chi-Ri chassis, or Chi-Ri hull, whichever term you prefer. They never actually got around to building any because, well, they only made one Chi-Ri and they didn't even finish that thing before the, you know, the big booms that we'll be seeing later happened. But yeah, this was actually I mean, it would be a reasonably decent vehicle with a fairly strong gun with the 105mm cannon, which they did actually have, and I believe I'll see if I can put up a picture of it because they did have one and they did test it. But this variant that we see here is, I don't know exactly which one, but there's three variants of the Ho-Ri that you will see circling around on the internet. There is this one with the rear turret. There is another with the rear turret, which keeps the shape of the Chi-Ri hull with the 37mm gun in the hull. And then there is another, which looks more like the Jagdtiger, which I think personally would have been more realistic than this. But I believe the two that War Thunder has are based off of the Ho-Ri that is, it was a model, like a wooden mock-up. So I can understand why they would base it off of that one. But what is good about this vehicle, and should you grind for it? The Ho-Ri production, I don't know. If that thing is 7.3 as I remember, it's kind of an awkward BR for Japan. You don't really have much to use it for. With the Ho-Ri prototype, which is this, and the only difference is the Ho-Ri production gets a slightly better penetration on its rounds and better armor. And I think they still have like the same mobility just about. But the Ho-Ri prototype is a little bit less armored and its gun isn't quite as good. But I would say the Ho-Ri prototype is the better vehicle tier for tier because you're at 6.7, so you have the STA-3, Type 61, Type 60 ATM if you're a Chad, the Type 60 SPRG if you want to be a Gremlin, and a couple other vehicles if you want to toss them in depending on what you have. So would I recommend this vehicle in 2023? Maybe. I mean, as you'll see in this video, we do fairly well with it. But is it actually a best vehicle that you could possibly get? That's kind of just how I feel about the whole of Japan. It's just at least in terms of this game, not Japan as the country. Yeah, it's not something I would recommend for the average player to play. If you like Japanese vehicles, definitely go for it. You could consider picking this thing up on sale, but I wouldn't go and run out to grind the Japanese tree with this because personally, I don't think the Japanese tree is very enjoyable. So somehow, this F-56 just does not see our gigantic Ho-Ri. I guess that bush on the front hit me, you know, understandable. We just blended right in. And yeah, now we are just going to do what we would refer to as a little bit of spawn camping, but you know what? That doesn't matter. We're getting kills, so we don't care how the enemy team feels about how we're getting killed. More seriously though, I'm not showing you this video purely because Oh, look, I spawn camped and got a bunch of kills. Now, I want to use this as an example of things that players need to pay attention for, because this enemy team has zero excuse for why they allowed me to do this for the length of time that I did. These guys should have been, the instant they saw one or two of their guys die, or I might have even been lit up on the map at one point, depending on how close I get to the spawn, they should have known that I was over here and been indicating to their teammates, hey, there's a Hori prototype over on our flank. A Hori prototype who somehow flanked our entire team and is now slowly picking us off as we leave our spawn. And yet, as you will see, not a single one of these people is paying attention. This is something I see a lot in War Thunder and in World of Tanks and in a lot of games. Basically any multiplayer game. People just don't pay attention to their map to see, oh hey, we have a lot of people dying, or even the kill feed, or the chat, or their surroundings. They're just so tunnel visioned on, okay, I need to do this particular thing, that they don't notice the giant hulking green Hori creeping up on them. Other than that, though, I am not entirely spawn camping. This was intended as a flank. I wasn't pushing towards their spawn specifically. I was trying to kind of hook around towards B, and this just happened to be the path that I took. Slight bit of, excuses here, because obviously getting free kills from a spawn camp, never gonna turn that down, but we are trying to head over towards the B and A point because I want to win this game. So now I'm trying to put myself up behind these buildings because I assume at this point I have killed enough people, somebody is going to be like, hey, that Hori killed me. I want to kill him now. And I do believe in just a moment we are going to see a quite amazing attempt to revenge bomb me, yep, which misses by a country mile with no damage, and we're able to kill that Panther over there. Now we are continuing to creep along as this RE-2000, that might have been the guy that tried to bomb me, I'm not sure. As I try to creep along here, I'm actually surprised I took this spot. I should have probably hooked to the left because now I'm leaving my side exposed to the spawn, but I'm gonna get away with it because, like I said, these guys aren't really paying attention. But this is one thing that I have run into with War Thunder maps over and over again. They are designed almost as if Gaijin wants you to be funneled into, goodbye M46. They want you to be funneled towards the enemy spawn and force you to spawn camp. I can't number the amount of times I've been in a match and I'll see, okay, we're losing these caps. I'm gonna turn around because I push up to the spawn, and I don't really like spawn camping. I try to actually avoid it for the most part, unless it's towards the end of the game. And, you know, I'm like, okay, I want to leave this position. I don't want to be killing these guys in their spawn, and there's other places I could be. But the instant I turn or fully turn around and start to leave, I just get shot in the back. So it's like, there's no cover to get away. There's no ability to reposition unless I sit there and just shoot until they have no more people to respawn. I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think of that, because it's just something that irritates me a lot. There are a lot of maps that are like it. They basically funnel you right to a specific position, and once you've been funneled there, nothing you can do except for sit there and spawn camp or die when you try to leave. Or, I mean, sometimes you can get away because there aren't enemies that have spawned in, but odds are every single time you turn around, an enemy will spawn and be like, oh look, a nice fat Hori butt. Let me just plug one right in there. So yeah, very, very annoying. As you can see, we did take a hit. The Hori's armor, especially at 6.7 now, is by no means infallible. In fact, most German guns can punch right through you, which is quite aggravating because this thing used to be really, really strong when you would be just sitting on like a ridgeline or something and you had your lower plate hidden. It was very difficult for people to kill you through that upper plate, but the 88 does butter right through it because that's only, I think, 200 millimeters of armor, somewhere around there. As I mentioned earlier, the Hori production has slightly thicker armor, but also at 7.3 you're just going to get killed by heat, so it is what it is. I was actually anticipating that M18 to push a little bit more forward, so he got lucky and I just skimmed off of the deck armor, and I think he gets killed before I can reload to kill him. Yes, he is now dead. Now I figure, okay, that Tiger 2 is kind of anticipating that I'm going to be here, so I'm going to hook around over here and try to creep up on him from the other side because hopefully he won't be anticipating this. It's very surprising how the most minor repositioning can actually just make somebody completely forget that you exist. Bad shot on my part there. I think I hit the hull of one of the dead vehicles, which I was just not leading enough, and I think I'm also going to miss another shot here. Didn't stop us from getting 9 kills, though, as this little jumbo tries to creep along. Oh no, I do in fact get him. The post-pen damage on this shell, and all the Japanese shells, really. That is the one thing that are amazing about, particularly like the late World War II Japanese vehicles, the Chiri-2, the Chito, and the Hori. They're post-pen. Oh my goodness. If you pen, they're basically dead. As you can see there, it just does so much damage. But now, it's time for the big bomb. And with a giant flaming ball, we finish this match with 11 kills, 1 death, a cap, and a glorious nuke, which actually was my first ever nuke in this game. I don't really care much for the mechanic, but I figured I might as well do it because why not? And we'd already won the match, so it would end the game for us. But yeah, I think I've actually gotten enough to get nukes before, but I just kind of never paid attention to it. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, let me know, because I enjoy making these, and I'm trying to do a little bit of different styles with things. Like in this one, I tried to incorporate some history elements while we were just kind of cruising around, and, you know, some elements of how I think people could do better in this game by just paying attention more. So if you enjoyed that and you think that you would like to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button and drop a like so that you can help more people to find these videos. And I'll see you next Wednesday for another video.